In the bottom left-hand side of the semi-final of the ESL Open Cup, we have spawning as the blue Terran player, Scarlet. As in the upper right-hand side, our red Protoss player is SpeCial. Semi-finals here are best of 5. So, I do believe that they are playing OFFRACE just for the first map, but they didn't actually answer me. So I think they are playing OFFRACE for the first map, and then we're going to go into their real races for the rest of this. So this is going to be a TVP opener into a ZvT rest of the series, I think. As you just see our probe heading down to the bottom left-hand side, going to go and get a scout off in the early stages. These two are going to have a little bit of chitter-chatter at the start of this probe of SpeCial. Down to the bottom left is going to go and go up into the main base. Now, don't blame me when I get this wrong and I call the wrong player names at points. Very possible that that happens with some random stuff. As Scarlet is going to turn this probe away, so probe is going to be a little bit annoying. Was going to go Reaper, turns it into a Marine instead, as the probe of SpeCial going to try and block up the natural just a little bit. Command Center will drop down to get this expansion up and rolling. So, getting this going, Marine will pop out, and now we're going to be seeing the reactor already coming in on the barracks. Again, that reactor on the way up. Cybercore is about to be done in the background, with the Nexus on the way from SpeCial as well. So, pretty standard builds across the board. Obviously, this Marine into reactor means your reactor and then your factory is that little bit faster here. Definitely creates some opportunity to maybe go into reacted Hellions, although no SCV on the map, so no starport on the map likely. So maybe, I mean, you don't have to proxy a starport if you go reacted Hellions, but it is obviously one of the common things to do to get that medevac up and to go for something like that. Just going to be seeing the second gas already starting up, as we do have the probe in the upper left is getting set up. I'm just going to be seeing the Stalker already chrono boosting out from this gateway as the Twilight Council from SpeCial comes into the main base. So SpeCial just going to open Twilight Council. Adept to be a little bit annoying here. Scarlet has the Marines to already fight this back, and you can see the Adept taking quite a bit of damage already. So a bit of damage already going down. The probe's still over here from SpeCial. Looks like he might want to add on a pylon and maybe get aggressive with the Stalkers and the Blink. This probe is going to come quite far forward and is going to put a... There's definitely a pylon on the way, right? There's no way you still have this probe here if there's not going to be a pylon. In the end, this reactor wasn't for Hellions. It's actually for Marines. You've seen this a lot lately, the kind of the Marine Hellion opener. And you get across the map with a medevac, or sometimes you can even just build a Liberator and go into the main base with that to split up the attention. It can be very good because the Marine count can be a bit overwhelming right away, especially because you go reactors so quickly, and then the Hellions really help you in case probes get pulled, or the Hellions can just run by and hit probes while the Marines fight against the gateway units. Hellions actually take a lot of damage here. We'll lose one of them, the Adept, able to get that shot off. The Stalkers doing a good job of this. The problem is these Marines, they kind of need to go and fight these couple of Stalkers, so we'll see the couple of SCVs get pulled in, and the Hellion will get brought back up. This Hellion in the front is going to get picked off as well. So Hellion goes down, and another Hellion that takes a bit more damage as the Marines will continue to push on through. So Stalkers get pushed away, and there's the proxied gateway to make this aggressive, but it's also been a Dark Shrine. So I really didn't see that Dark Shrine production. I 100% swear I saw Blink and only Blink. So my apologies, I missed the Dark Shrine coming up here. So SpeCial gets the Dark Shrine. We'll have DTs moving to the front of Scarlet's base very soon. Scarlet has no scans, but she is building a Raven. So Raven will be ready fairly soon. As the medevac comes into the main base, we'll unload a few Marines on the background. A few of these probes already starting to go down. So a little bit of target firing. 3 workers killed off. And that DT already comes in and is going to go in after a few of those Marines. Gets scanned though. Okay, so the first DT dies, and the Raven should be up before any more DTs harassment happens. 9 probes went down across the map, so this was a good attack from Scarlet. Getting 9 workers killed and putting SpeCial behind on the worker count. Definitely hurting a little bit. Just going to be seeing the DT into the natural expansion here. Going to go after these SCVs and already going to start swiping up a Storm. 3 workers down. There's our Raven to help chase this Dark Templar away as well. There's a few of these Marines jump into the bunker and more Stalkers of SpeCial. Now down the right side and coming across the map. This Dark Templar gets chased away. Just going to be seeing the blink to finish up in a few moments' time. 1-1 upgrade, stim pack, all of this continuing up. I mean, let's see what these Blink Stalkers can do. Nice Raven play. Actually catches that DT. Cannot lose the Raven, though. There's so many DTs up. If you lose this Raven, you lose so much of what you can do, because then you can't even move across the map as easily, because then you need to save so many scans for every single time you try and move across to the upper right. Just going to be seeing the Nexus is about halfway along from SpeCial in the third base. The War Prism loads up the DT. He's going to take them into the main base. So SpeCial into the main with these 4 Dark Templar. And just going to be unloading to go straight in for this Combat Shield. I mean, that's a nice skill. Obviously deny one of the upgrades here as Combat Shield is denied. The Raven was there, but wasn't able to get any kills in time, as now 2 Archons are going to morph in. That's going to be SpeCial's follow-up, trying to go for a bit of Archon harassment. Now, Scarlet is just on 2 bases. Looks like she wants 1 big attack bio tank with 5 racks, tons of units. That's going to be the plan from Scarlet here. Now, what can these Archons do? You have to be very careful here, SpeCial, because if this Prism gets a Matrix off on the Prism, then you're not going to be able to lift these Archons up anymore, and they're going to be very stuck. Auto turret came down, but obviously that's something which SpeCial can move away from as SpeCial comes back in, trading out, and Scarlet isn't very happy about her Marines dying to the Archons. Might be better to keep on microing those rather than... might be better to keep on microing them rather than typing, I guess. Just some analysis, you know. This is actually huge for SpeCial, because this is meant to be a 2-base all-in from Scarlet, right? And a 2-base all-in where you're losing Marines heavily, you know, very quickly already, it's going to weaken that 2-base all-in a huge amount. Army just coming down to the bottom. The DT just waiting for this move out, and here he goes. Scarlet going to pull the SCVs. So across the map we go. A few Stalkers over to this side. They're going to see this. SpeCial will start moving back. Scarlet also still has units in the main base. Chasing down the Prism here. Prism gets low. Does not go down, though. Viking should continue to chase, because if that Prism tries to recall home, it's very low HP. Viking might actually get the kill on it. Prism will continue up. Well, Scarlet starts to set up the bunkers as she makes her attack known. She is up 1-1 against 0-0. Charge isn't done yet, but it's not far from finishing. Charge is a massive part of this, I think, as a couple of attack shots already going off. What would be big is if Scarlet's able to get this robo facility. SpeCial pops the Guardian Shield. Here we go. Charge is ready. Zealots go straight in towards the tanks, and there's not really any support for the tanks. The Marines and the Marauders are all in the upper right side. And as you see, the bio gets into some of the bunkers as well. There's a couple of Immortals just left over, and I feel like those Immortals are going to be deadly. The Vikings might want to try and land here as well. Anything to help out, I think? I actually don't know. It's very close. The Scarlet still has the 1-1 upgrade. She actually has SCVs repairing the siege tank, which will now go down. I think without the siege tank here, you really just don't have enough to really be scary. Oh my god, there's that more SCVs. I just sat AFK on the low ground. Scarlet, your SCVs are just sat there. No, what's she building? Oh my goodness, she doesn't realize that there's a ton of SCVs. Can you imagine these SCVs were here? The difference that makes in being able to tank this army? SpeCial's army supply, by the way, on 16. He's on 4 bases against this 2-base all-in. Now Scarlet realizes, oh my god, I've got SCVs left. But she's given up she's already lost so many of the units which she would usually need to make use of these SCVs tanking. And of course, given time, SpeCial's economy is fantastic, so Scarlet needs to end this game pretty much now. Otherwise, SpeCial will just be able to keep on building more units up. And the problem is now, every time Scarlet stims, this damage is so costly. There's going to be DT showing up. There are scans available, so Scarlet has preparation for that. Now, the Liberate, I don't think, makes enough of a difference as these Zealots charge in too. The Bio just doesn't have any healing. The Marines do chase probes in the bottom right, so a few more Marines will show up here. Army supply still in Scarlet's favor, up by about 16. And she's going to try and get rid of some more Stalkers. Pulls away now. Siege Tank goes running. Some new medevac show up. And finally some healing. Much needed healing for Scarlet's army. But again, her supply is hurting. Her army supply at points looks good. But the moment she has to back away, it gives Special time to rebuild. Time to make use of his full economy. And that should just be a bit too much of a game changer, I think. Bio pulling back a little bit. Scan comes down. Observer gets taken out. SCV is just going to be on the front of this. We do see the Warp Prism. There's a few Zealots inside as well. Could even go across the map, I think, and just harass. I don't think that would be a bad idea. Scarlet with the SCVs, bunker, and a missile turret. Special's just going to fight into this. Still no upgrades from Special, which is the one reason it's been so tough for him. As, hey, this time the Stalkers blink in and they go down. The Zealots continue to fall. There's a lot of bio left here. And this time Medivacs and the tank still to support. That's pretty big. These Zealots are going to go down. And now this Warp Prism is trying to evacuate these Immortals. Zealots warping in, getting taken down. And now these probes on the third base going down as well. Scarlet's going to type lol. It's a Latin sounding Korean. And this is actually not looking so good for Special anymore. I think Scarlet feels pretty good because this definitely didn't feel like the sort of push that should have won out in the end, but she just about kept it going. And Scarlet looks as though she might be able to take this game number 1. Siege Tank hits the Immortals. A bit more damage being done. 9 more probes have fallen elsewhere. It's going to be seeing the rest of the bio stemming into this mineral line and a lot more probes continuing to drop. 19 workers go down. Pylon gets taken down. We're going to be seeing this Nexus is taking a whole bunch of damage. I mean, Special lost the third base. Now going to lose the fourth base. Can you imagine Special just had the... Imagine the Prism goes across the map with the Zealots. And I know the Prism was great here, microing these Immortals and stuff, but pressure across the map. I mean, he doesn't even need a Prism. Warping some Zealots here. I know it's tough, but the slowdown that would make on Scarlet's units, right? The reinforcements get caught up. All of that, SCVs go down. It's really tough. Scarlet, I love it. Just expanding now, realizing the position she is in. Special was going to expand there, but apparently decides not to. Warps in a couple of extra DTs, and we'll morph them into an Archon. Scarlet did a good job of keeping scans available. She's never been caught off by DTs in these fights, of course, which is always one of the concerns when you're playing against Dark Templar, so... She's made a good job there. Again, a bit low on medevac energy once more. She has been fighting pretty much all the time, so medevacs are drained of energy. There's a DT showing up, and she has indeed a scan available. So, again, doesn't really catch her off guard as the bio will fight here. A couple of Archons making their way through. The tanks really add so much to this in the background, though, and these Immortals are all going to go down. Stalkers are dead. There's a couple of the Immortals very low HP in this Warp Prism, but if that goes, if they are able to do anything, then I'd be amazed, because they take a Marine shot and they go down at this point. They are so badly hurt. They're getting a bit of shields back now. Their barriers back. It doesn't even matter. Both the Immortals die, and GG is called. Scarlet wins a pretty darn exciting game number 1 in this off-race. And again, I do think we might be getting into not off-race, going into game number 2 here in a few moments' time of this best of 5 semi-final. Let's go into game number 2, and we're on main races now, and I think we will stay on main races for the rest of the series. In the top right hand side, the red Terran player is Special. Up against the blue Zerg on the bottom left hand side is Scarlet. She won the first game, which was off race, and for no reason they didn't play off race for any specific reason, guys. Literally just decided to play off race to start the series. As we'll see, the extractor drops down. So an extractor first, not a hatchery. And Special goes for a low ground barracks. Okay, well, this is interesting. What's the idea here? Maybe Special walls here and is going to wall across the front. Oh, he's going to go multi-Rax Reaper. Interesting. Interesting that then he doesn't wall off here still, though, right? Oh, wow. So multi-Rax Reaper versus a gas pool is really bad for Special, because it means Scarlet immediately is so much closer already to the, to the defense against this, right? She's so much closer to Ling speed. She's so much closer to getting a roach roaring up right from the start. As we do have the Overlord making its way to the upper right-hand side. These couple of racks going to be finishing, and Special can start the first Reaper already. Just 2 racks? No third racks? Is the question. One thing that I'm going to say now for later in the game is I really hope special walls off up here. Because we see so often people who don't wall early in the game up there because they wall a low ground or something just die to lingering buys because they can't, you know, if one gets in the natural, they can't stop it getting into the main as well because there's no secondary wall off. So, yeah, I love the fact that special's already starting depots up there. As you will see, the Rax building these 2 Reapers, and meanwhile, Scarlet's like pull first and Link Speed already on the way again. This just means there's so much less time for special to really make use of these Reapers, right? Because as soon as Link Speed is up, that's going to be a very different story as these couple of Lings continue up into the top side of the map. Special sees the fact that this is a pool first, of course, so now he's a bit like, okay, with this Reaper. He goes into the main, is going to check, and actually sees, okay, sees the Link Speed, sees the Rotron. Great scout from Special. Scarlet will just cancel the Rotron here already. She, of course, did see the 2 racks. And Special is just straight out of Reaper production, straight into Marine production and factory. So it's actually just not even like a full-on committed 2 racks Reaper opening. It's just 3 Reapers, get those on the map, and then go into some Marine production from there. And use this barracks to give high ground vision, so there will be a kill on this Overlord. And obviously, the barracks being at the front means it's very close and very easy to come in and get this denial. A couple of Lings have speed, and they're going to run by, though. Special send the Reapers for that. The Lings, the Marine's going to go for the Overlord, but now the rest of the Lings show up. And suddenly Special may be in some trouble, losing a couple of these Marines already. Obviously, one of the racks not currently building because it's lifted up. And SCVs are going to pull down to the low ground to help fight this. It will be a clean up in the end. A couple more Lings just showed up, but there's nothing else on the way after this. But 4 SCVs going down, so Scarlet does get some good damage done. But of course, this does cost her. Oh, she still has Lings up in the main base. I didn't even see these ones sneak by. 7 workers killed. That's a little bit worse. I mean, if Special comes out of this like 5-ish workers behind, I'm like, okay. 7 workers behind feels painful. Yeah, because obviously Scarlet invests into, you know, what could have been 7 drones, is in fact 14 Lings, right? And she opened pool, you know, gas pool first. It's not super economy focused. So yeah, I feel like Special can lose 3 or 4, but losing 7 feels like a little bit too much. Definitely feels like that should hurt, as this Overlord will finally go down. Scarlet actually never prepared for it's going down, so she's actually heavily supply blocked. She only just now started a second Overlord, a hatchery. It wasn't going to be done before then. So yeah, she's in a big supply block at the moment. Scarlet will not be able to build for a little while here. Two racks going to move across, going to land in the front. And there's our starport building from Special on the tech lab. That was previously occupied by the factory to make this Cyclone. Across the map, Reapers come in and they get 3 drones already and gonna go for a couple more perhaps. It's gonna get 4. So 4 drones go down, and now these 2 Reapers will continue to move around. Queens continue to hunt, and this is gonna be this Reaper finally falling. So Reaper does go down. Spire in the back of this main base. We do have the Baneling Nest already setting up in the main as well. Just gonna be seeing our Fusion Core building at the front. Special gonna use this as part of the wall off. Although it doesn't actually fully wall off, so maybe a bit of a misplacement. But yeah, he's going to indeed go into a battle cruiser here as a follow-up. So it's been a very weird game. Both players have been a little bit here, there, and everywhere, trying to... trying to just... I mean, it's just been a weird game in general, right? I mean, there's not much else to say about it. Just a weirder opening from Special versus the gas pool makes it kind of a little bit funky. And then you get into this, you know, counter-attack, and yeah, it's been a fun one. Definitely not your standard TVZ. Now, we do see with the armory as well, Special is kind of looking to try and do what we saw in one of the earlier TVZs today between Scarlet and Tasia, which is this kind of Hellbats battlecruiser timing. Scarlet defended that okay. She did take quite a lot of drone losses. I mean, in this game, she's going to have a Spire already done as the BC comes up, and I think that's a real indicator of where Special is at the moment. The fact that there's going to be 7 Mutalisks out when this BC pops, never mind, you know, he's also got to finish building still. This is really bad, and obviously the Banelings are very useful with the Baneling speed, especially to take down the Hellbat, so that's going to be quite important. Yeah, this is seeming to be a little bit crazy as Hellions come through the center, and they will chase those Lings away, so Lings get chased off. Middles are going to come in, and just again, Helene and the Cyclone have to back away from this. Middles are going to come straight through and start to get on top of that. The rest of the Marines showing up. Well, he's going to pull SCVs too. Completely all in from SpeCial then. I mean, the Marines here as well, though, will help against the Mutalisks, and it kind of becomes necessary. So full on all in from SpeCial. Try and win this game here and now. Here comes that BC teleport in. Banelin's obviously going to be massive in this. You cannot let these Banes connect on Marines. SCVs maybe not so bad, but if you lose the Marines, you're going to lose the anti-air you really own here. I mean, SCVs, I guess, as well, because they were repairing the BC. Scarlet's going to hold this up. She's going to clean this up, and SpeCial is going to fall down. 0-2 in this series. Scarlet is going to take this to a 2-0 advantage already, and looking very good here in this semi-final, basically. Looking to make another ESL Open Cup Korea finals. Bottom left-hand side of Eternal Empire. It is going to be up 2-0, one map to make it to the ESL Open Cup Asia Finals. This is Scarlet taking on the Red Terran in the top right-hand side. It is SpeCial. Game 3 of this best of 5. Off and away we go. I'm really expecting this to be a fun one on Eternal Empire. Definitely feels like it's the sort of one that can go the distance, that can go a long way. Definitely have seen both these players ending up playing very long games on Eternal Empire in the past. Hatch Gas and Pool from Scarlet this time around, and this time very regular opening from SpeCial. Of course, ESL Open Cup prize money, $50 for hitting the round of 4. $100 for second place and $200 for first place. More importantly even is perhaps the ESL points that are on the line. If you finish first or second, 10 points and 5 points were awarded to the first and second place finishers, and those help you to qualify to Katowice to the World Championships in March of next year. And of course, for the foreign scene, I really feel like a lot of their seeding for tournaments is done by ESL points and stuff as well, invites and stuff for ESL Pro Tour stuff. So points are very important, and a few extra points here or there could make your life just that much easier. Going to be seen now. SCV going to block up the third location. There's not really a good alternative to a third base here on Eternal Empire, so it's one of these ones where the Terrans like to block for a while and try and force the Zerg to deal with that. Makes life a little bit tougher for the Zerg players, of course. And that's just going to be seeing the Reaper taking a little bit of damage. I'm just going to be seeing it fighting back against these Lings. Gets a drone very low. Queen pops out, and we'll see if SpeCial can take down a creep tumor. Ooh, Scarlet just going to straight up inject at the start instead of putting down a creep tumor, so she's going to get the inject off. SpeCial actually pulled away with the SCV. It's got a second Reaper coming across the map, so a lot of pressure in the front. Will be tough for Scarlet to get out to a third base. Yeah, SpeCial really going to sit here and try and deal some damage. Queen in the main base as well, though, and most importantly, I think we'll want to sit at the front and really watch for the possibility of seeing a creep tumor coming down, because with 2 Reapers, it would fall very quickly. Takes another shot on the Reaper. That's a shame, because now that Reaper is going to have its regeneration time reset. That's now the creep coming into the front. So a couple of creep teamers at the front there. Lara in the main base. There's a couple of extractors just going to be building on the natural expansion. Just going to be seen as Zerglings continue picked away at on the rocks. We've seen this lag continue to build up. Will be done in a few moments' time as a couple of Hellions coming around and just seeing the overlord continuing up to the top side. Fusion core will build with SpeCial in the main base. He's going to go battle cruisers again in the early stages. Couple of Reapers, couple of Hellions coming through. Going to have this creep tumor picked off already. One Reaper jumps into the main base, and the Lings are going to be able to pick this off. Nice network from Scarlet. Wow. So This is just turned into a complete set of chaos. I mean, she's going 2-base Swarm Host. This has been a very interesting series. As the Liberator heads down to the bottom left, couple of Hellions in the Reaper. Continuing down the bottom side, the rest of the Hellions off to the right. Again, all of these Swarm Hosts continue to build from Scarlet with that Nidus network. Finishing now as well. Special's Liberator will come and siege up. BC on the way. Honestly, I don't really know what to make of this game. I'm just going to enjoy it as it lasts because Swarm Host against the BC opener, I mean, there's not going to be a lot to deal with the Swarm Host Locust, really. There's also right now not a lot for Scarlet to deal with this this Liberator harassment. Gonna see the Nidus network there, I think, special. So knows for sure kind of what's going on in terms of the Nidus. Of course, whether he's expecting the Swarm Host to pop out of it, I guess, is another question. Liberator has gone down, and the first Nidus is up to the top side. Yeah, Locust is gonna go straight into the main base. I mean, Special just can't fight this until he has the BC up. It's the only thing that's going to realistically clean this up anytime soon. Well, Nidus is coming up all over the place. Special will have to try and deal with that. A couple of Swarm Hosts over here as they relocate from the top side. Hellions, of course, this is a very late third base from Scarlet, so Special doesn't need to rush out from 2 bases just yet. Can just sit on 2 bases for a while against this, I think. You see around up the top, moving towards the Nidus. We do see the Hellions continuing to fight a few of these Lings being taken down. The BC will teleport across the map. There's no preparation for a battle cruiser. There is a few Queens, but these Queens are all very low, so even those are not going to survive very long here. And yeah, the Queens actually just run away. So the Special's just like, you know what? Yeah, let's actually just take the chance to get rid of some drones, because obviously killing drones is going to be big. Locust back in the main base, and needs to be careful not to lose the orbital commands, because that would be a major loss as the BC continue to kill off these Queens. But that's the orbital indeed going down. It's pretty sick as the Locust continue to go in after SCVs. 30 workers down from Special. I think Special's going to lose. He has a BC, but the problem is eventually, right, Spore Crawls become a bit too much. And there's 2 spores in the natural, and he's lost workers, and he's lost this orbital in the main, so he lost his 3rd CC. So he loses some of the rebuild potential on workers as well, and I think this is going to be a bit too much. Like, I guess Scarlet can mine from 2 bases, though, right? Like, she's got the spores, and the Swarm Hosts aren't going to stop, right? The Swarm Hosts are going to keep on coming, and there's just nothing to clean it up. Special has no units to realistically defend against the Locusts. I mean, I guess you could teleport this BC home. I mean, you kind of have to. Does kill the Spore Crawl of the 2 BCs together, but it's going to be an eternity before you really get this BC back. So it's just going to be 1 BC across the map. Continue to fight, continue to try and make something happen. Continue to come through. Going to go down to the low ground. Some drones over here. No, hits the hatchery. Should just be on drones, I think. I don't think it really makes a difference what you go on to, right? I mean, whatever you choose kind of feels like it's very insignificant considering the situation. Now there's a better Queen count up, and BC will sort of take some more continued damage. This BC in the main is still trying to protect. Special has just fallen back to 1 base. I mean, it's still getting kills in this main. This BC's up on 16 kills now, so it is doing well. It's just such a weird way to get going. BC Immortal is down a Queen already. GG is called, and Special is going to take this series. Scarlet, sorry, he's going to take this series 3-0 and will advance through to the finals. GG from Special, and that will be that. Just a very weird game, obviously. I mean, Special pushed back to 1 base in the end. Felt great when these, BC and the Hellions first showed up, but had no way to control the Locusts on the other side of the map, so just wasn't really able to do anything about that. That's obviously pretty brutal. That's going to be it. GG. Scarlet goes to the finals of today's ESL Open Cup Korea.